Hi, it's Joy and today I'm going to be watching Supergirl Season 6, Episode 2, A Few Good Women. The end of the last episode was insane. I did not see that coming. It makes sense that I think that was probably going to be their Season 5 cliffhanger, and that will help them have Melissa filming at a different time because of her maternity leave and everything. It makes total sense. But it's pretty devastating. I mean, Kara has experience with being trapped here when she was a child. Not good. And the others are without her, unexpectedly. I know the last time Kara was not available when she had kryptonite poisoning or something. I can't entirely remember the plot, forgive me. John kind of masqueraded as Supergirl a little bit, and I hope they do something like that so that the city doesn't sort of think, where's our hero gone? Because if that happens again when Kara's missing, it'll be kind of obvious. But stress. A reminder, as always, please, 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 that if you are a super Lena fan, I'm probably not the reactor for you. I was pleased with how she acted in the previous episode. I think she has learnt the errors of her ways, but she got so villainous last season that I struggle with her still. I'm hoping that by the end of this season I will no longer have to make these disclaimers because they will have fixed or made me feel like they have done justice by the sort of redemption her character needs. But yeah, let's go. Oh no, wait, before we go, a reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon, and let's go. One more thing as well. Sorry, I'm so stupid. I'm sorry this video is a day late. At the beginning of this week I had a huge ME CFS crash and I did not have the mental capacity to properly watch and enjoy shows, so my reactions would not have been very good. And then yesterday I was beginning to feel better, but editing, I just didn't want to risk it, so I took another day to just take it easy, and then today I am feeling back to kind of my normal baseline, just only a little bit under, and I'm ready. Let's go. Why are we seeing a blood bank? Is there a vampire on the loose? Oh my god, apparently there is a vampire on the loose.
This is going to suck for you.
Brainy. Well, now he's escaping. Maybe capture the man and don't just, you know, do your one-liners. Thank you.
We want you to help us break into the Phantom's.
Oh.
Why in the hell would you want to do that?
I love you, Kara. You've got this. You are stronger than anything. Kara deserves better than this.
It's the Phantoms you have to face.
Yes, well, Kara's facing them right now.
Time to feed on your fear by making you live it. They're like shadow spores that creep inside
Kara.
you, everything good and right.
We all know he's getting convicted. We might as well just get a jump on it.
He better be.
Jurors, the witnesses, do literally whatever it takes to get interviews. I will pay your bail.
You can't have interviews with the witnesses, witnesses or the jurors.
Every day you spend fruitlessly shaking your fist at the sky is another day the Luthor name gets dragged through the mud.
She doesn't care about you, she cares about herself.
You care more about the family name than...
Well, shock.
Do you really have some little faith in me that you think I should agree to rot in
Yes.
prison? I will remind you, I have been in prison before. I have been shot and killed and risen from the dead before, and I will not be subjugated again.
Maybe there's a reason you keep failing.
No, I always have a plan.
Kara? Is this happening?
Father.
Kara.
Is that happening? Or is this going to be a phantom and he's going to die in front of her?
Margo survived because of your sacrifice.
Oh god, is he real? I feel like this is going to end in agony for Kara.
Forever.
Has he gone insane? It's been here a long time.
She was dead. But so was everyone I ever loved.
Oh, Kara.
While they were trying to save the world. And I
Rain.
just stood there. We're going to get out.
Get out.
Yes, Mother wants.
Please don't be a crazy man.
We will never die, but we may yet survive.
What's the point?
Or you will.
So, will you be watching the trial?
Of course.
She should be testifying.
To see my brother as he really is.
She was part of it. She should be testifying.
I thought maybe we could talk about it, especially after everything we've been through. But I see now that I was mistaken because as
She's a very Irish American accent.
Keith's got
I love Katie, but she does have a very Irish American accent. We need to talk about Lena's time in Ireland. I am sorry though, Lena, I truly do believe she's trying to make a difference and that she looks back on what happened and she wants to make a change. But in what universe is she not testifying at this trial? Even for her own guilt, I mean, maybe it would incriminate her, but I'm pretty sure that they would give her some kind of deal that let her off. And, you know, if the public hated her, well, they already will be hating the Luthers, so, I don't know, like, she did it. She was with him. It was her technology. And yes, she could argue that, you know, on the stand, she can say that's not what I wanted to use it for. But he used me and he used that. And this man will use his own family. Like, she has to testify because she's an accomplice. And if she doesn't testify, then in my opinion, it just makes her look more guilty. I understand her not wanting to, but I think, I mean, is that part of Lillian's favours and whatnot that she's pulled, that they're not going to bring Lena in to testify because they could be locking her up with him, with the evidence they have. So I find that weird.
Entire sock of pot stickers because she's going to be
Wait,
starving when she.
Did they already?
Not listening to
We're not going to see Alex tell Kelly.
You need to forgive yourself for what happened to him.
I can't.
You do though.
The guilt is overwhelming.
Unless you committed the crime he was sent there
Of
for.
course, you feel shame.
Otherwise, it's just survivor's guilt.
No phantom. You can build that.
I mean, this is a very powerful scene for Kelly, showing how empathetic she is, but I do feel like we could have had the scene where she found out about Kara, or where she was like, well, I've been waiting for you to tell me, or something.
Saves from then on.
Do not have time. Fix it. Fix it right now.
Okay, yelling at the man's not going to help.
Can I talk to you outside?
I know your child is in danger, but...
I'd rather die trying to get her back than live with the guilt that I didn't do everything that I could.
But if you rush in like this, you're not doing everything that you can, are you?
But we need to do this our way.
Surprised me with a lavish candlelit dinner. Do you recall the onset?
Is he going to try and say that because he turned her down, she's made all of this up?
Thunder.
Objection.
Lena has to testify. She should have already been testifying.
Image inducer.
You made me hack Obsidian. You made me impersonate people. You made me kill.
Eve, this is what he wanted.
Tessmacher's testimony was
Trying to bribe me. Why in the world would I need to bribe my own daughter?
To stop testifying. Thank you, Lena, just go.
Childish notion. You'll have to accept your guilt for every single thing you did.
She should.
And then the world will
That is something I believe Lena is trying to deal with.
you are too.
And if she doesn't take the stand, then she's just being a coward. And then I mean, it is an impossible decision, but then
Luther to do some actual good instead.
that is true, Lena, yes.
If I have to risk my name to make sure my brother stays behind bars forever, then I will.
Because this is to be the first time you properly break away from the family. You properly do your own thing.
Now's not the time to worry about William. Or Lex's trial for that matter.
I have nothing against William whatsoever, but I feel like every episode I'm like, no, it's not the time to worry about William. I just don't really care.
Are the highest
I really like the actor though.
concentration to
Come on, Nia.
try again.
I could barely find you when you were dying on the Leviathan
Oh,
ship.
you need to believe in yourself, Nia.
Our relationship was what was clouding my powers.
Through the lens of Supergirl. Her virtue, her accomplishments, her drive.
Because
You
of
and I
Mon-El,
had the
because he
opportunity
loved
to
her.
actually know her.
And still does.
That you are not a liability to this mission.
Yeah.
You are the reason
You
it's
tell her.
going to succeed.
I believe in you, sweetheart. And you need to just believe in yourself. Gosh, to have your father back. And to realise that he's still as lost as ever.
I'm sorry you've endured what you've endured.
I believe in you and I believe you will search for this way until your last breath. But remember, he did say it would make the Phantoms come. Oh. Oh, Kara. Oh.
I'm going to do everything I can to escape it, even if it means I just get an inch further every day. And I'm sorry
This is Kara.
everything you went through, but I would rather live through torture and do something than just exist for the sake of it. The House of L is meant for more than that.
And that's such a motto for life. Just get a step further, even if one day...
My daughter going to the Roxanne. So if
Oh.
you're going to insist on trying,
Just got her dad back. Please don't let him be some sort of illusion that's going to break her heart at the end.
But Lex corrupted my technology.
Which was already an immoral technology.
Mindless follower.
Put plainly, she created a tool to brainwash the
Yeah.
masses. Isn't that right, sis?
Wasn't the one with the motive to use it that way.
Well, it's your word against mine on that.
I'm sorry, but your non-cherry thing was a form of brainwashing.
Without me, your precious non-no cherry would have never gotten off the ground.
So you think you can just take credit for my work?
You're damn right I can. Taking the big swings that you never would.
Yep.
I support it.
Good job, Lena.
Because you're a Luther, I kept you by my side.
side when you were
He knows how to get under her skin. She knows how to get under his skin.
of bitter women like my sister
Oof.
and Eve. If push came to shove, you'd have done it.
He had it coming.
It's moving in a randomized pattern. It would take years for us to make
Oh, I thought it was too
Hey,
quick.
we're not gonna go get her.
Alex, wait.
Oh, now he's taking this to McGon. What the fuck? He's leaving the door open so the phantoms can come in. Oof. He's protecting one of his kids. Oh, they're gonna break him out. Seriously.
Everything all set?
The jury find the defendant not guilty on all counts.
How?
Being myself.
Seriously, how?
But this time doesn't mean he won't.
I think we all need to at least
Lex's outburst showed his character, which showed he was capable of it.
figure this out.
And 2 people testifying against him.
It's about to get a lot worse.
Like, that makes no sense. The whole trial was like 2 seconds long. There would have been other witnesses. There would have been other people they'd have talked to.
as a free man. These 21st century
I'm
people
bored.
suck.
Very bored of Lex. Oh.
How am I supposed to accept a world without Kara in it?
It would be impossible.
To accept is that this could take a while.
But you know you're going to work everything you can to get her back. And if, God forbid, something were to happen and you were to not have Kara,
I don't know if I can.
you honour her legacy and the good she did.
See any path.
No one could have expected the jury to sympathize.
How did they? Because there were a lot of women on that jury. And I feel like there must have been more men, but then
Stop him.
Underestimated me even more than
did she pay off the jurors somehow?
No one was me.
I'm so bored!
Tried to buy
He's a fantastic Lex.
doing what I wanted, but apparently
I think that phantom did something to me.
Please come.
Oh.
I think I need help.
Just what we needed.
Well, then I guess we're gonna have to catch a phantom.
Yes, Kara! Okay, so I'm very, very frustrated that Lex was found not guilty. I kind of wasn't expecting him to face trial at all. I kind of wish they hadn't bothered with the whole farce of it all. Because, I mean, it's kind of true to the real world, which is fucking depressing, where powerful white men get away with whatever the fuck they want to get away with. And, like, his speech was basically, you can't trust a bitter woman. And then the jury were like, spot on, mate. Like, I need to go back and count the jury numbers of men to women. But, like, I just find that ridiculous. Like, maybe there wasn't enough evidence, but then they wouldn't have brought it to trial if the only evidence was Eve. They would have interrogated her further. They would have found out the truth of it. Lena, I mean, her testimony was great. I'm glad she did it. But I feel like she could have provided a hell of a lot more detail, as could Eve. I mean, we didn't see Eve's testimony. Detail that couldn't be erased. I just cannot believe it. Final, why does Lex have to be constantly at the centre of everything in Kara's final season? He needs to be gone by the mid-season because I agree that he is one of the best portrayals of Lex I've seen. I love his portrayal of Lex, but he just takes up so much screen time as the villain. He's so annoying because he's become one of those villains that we've defeated 6,000 times but always gets away with it, and that just gets boring and frustrating. And maybe it's my opinion, that's totally fine. If you think it's the best thing about this show is Lex running around, then I'm happy for you because you're getting a lot more of it. Lena, I'm glad that she has taken responsibility. I liked her line about, for once, a Luther needs to try and do good instead of just pretending to, because, yeah, I mean, basically a lot of her actions, especially last season, was her pretending to do good while not really doing good. And I think when we first met her, she was making a very good effort at being good, but I think it's always easier, especially when you're rich, to kind of be the performance being good and not necessarily make the hard choices and the right choices. And Lena is hopefully getting to a better place. Unfortunately, I don't really care anymore because of just... So she literally was using a hyper-realistic VR to punch somebody in the face repeatedly. even after that person actually confessed and told her everything and accepted blame, even without the brainwashing, that to me, I just, as a character, I don't wish her harm anymore, to be honest. Were she to end up in prison, it would be a total injustice if Lex didn't and she did. But to be honest, maybe she'd kind of need a short prison sentence over what she did. I don't know. So I don't hate Lena anymore. I think her character is trying to do the right thing. I'm glad that she's broken away from the, oh, pity me, poor me, I've never done anything wrong in my life and everyone's so mean to me, that she's now like, yeah, I've made mistakes, I fucked up, I'm trying to do better. But I feel like they took it too far last season, and especially when we don't even have Kara there to champion her, because bless Kara, she's the most open-hearted person of them all and truly does love Lena as a friend. And that is something that I just want to point out, is that I remember reading interviews with Melissa recently in which she talked about how they were the importance of friendship, that with Lena and Kara they wanted to show the strength of female friendship, and the fact that they use that word endlessly, that's what they've always said about them from day one, that the whole point of Kara and Lena's relationship was to show that you could have a super strong friendship, how important that bond of friendship is. And that is separate to romance, that is a separate thing to romance. I ship a lot of things in my life, don't get me wrong, but 9 times out of 10 a platonic ship will be my favourite. You know, a sibling relationship, a best friend relationship. That is what they are. And Lena betrayed that last season. Kara kind of betrayed it, but she took full responsibility for it. Now for Lena, her actions were times 10 for what it should have been. So I am just over the Luthers at this point. I'd like Lena to be happy at the end of the show. If it makes Kara happy, she can still be in her life, but I'm over the Luthers. My heart is breaking for Alex, because that is her little sister. That is someone that she's been a huge part of her life, regardless of everything they've been through, and to suddenly lose that person in such a split-second way as well, and to feel like not only are they gone, but they are suffering every second. I can understand why she's struggling. I can understand why she focuses herself on the mission, on it's fine, I'm just going to pop in there, grab her, bring her back. You know, I'm going to buy her all her favourite food, it's all going to be great. And then coming home and seeing it and the realisation that it's definitely not going to be as easy. There's not a definite positive outcome, and who knows how long it's going to take to happen. I'm so sad for her, but at the same time it's she needed to have that realisation, because it's not it's not healthy to process your feelings. I don't know, I have no idea where the show is heading in the long term, what Kara's future is going to be, where the show is going to go, but I'm glad Alex has Kelly. I'm annoyed that they made a big deal of Kelly not knowing, and then this episode she was just like, yeah, I've had no issues with it. I feel like Kelly needs to go have a chat with Lena and be like, so hey, my girlfriend's been lying to me about who her sister really is all of this time, and I keep bringing her food, all's well. It's funny, they're very different relationships. I enjoyed seeing Kelly's empathetic side with Vampire Guy, poor Vampire Guy. We now have a Phantom loose. They're not doing a good job without Kara, are they? But they'll mop up Phantom drama. I mean, I'm hoping the Phantoms aren't all going to National City, because that would be a lot. Catco, I don't really know. With Kara there, I care deeply about it, but Andrea is a character that I feel was too morally grey last season. I don't think she's a bad person, but I feel like she's got away pretty scot-free for doing some pretty shady stuff. William, without Kara, bless him, he's just pointless. Like, I don't have anything against him, I'm not sending any hate to the actor. I think the actor plays William really well, he's made him likeable. I like William, but I just he was just beginning a relationship with Kara, and Nikki's for most of this episode reacting like me. I don't know. Bless his little cotton socks. Nia is the juggle of being an integral superhero member combined with trying to work. That is the juggle Kara has had to do all of this time. Can she? I mean, it's lucky William is understanding. He's pretty used to it with Kara running off of him at all times. I don't overly care about the Catco stuff right now. I don't not care, but my main, what drives me is Kara, of course. She's my favourite character by far in this show. I love Nia deeply as well, but I feel like Catco, especially because it was covering the Lex trial. And like I said, I'm done with the Luthers now. So if I was Lena, I would have accepted the shares from her mother and then been like, by the way, I'm going to go testify now, bye. Because now Lex has his fucking company back. So Nia, she was feeling down on herself, because not only did they lose Kara in that fight, but she almost didn't manage to find Brainy in time and almost didn't manage to help save him, and it's easy to doubt yourself, it's easy to let those doubts come in, and that is the last thing they need in this mission when her success relies on her keeping control of her emotions. I'm glad that we kind of saw that moment between her and Brainy. It kind of reminded me why I was happy when they got together and why I liked them together after last season. I truly do believe that if Clara doesn't escape, if they do manage to go on a mission to try and get her, then Nia will be able to figure out where she is, will be able to help them. It will become, Clara will not just be a damsel in distress, Clara will be saving herself, unless she ends up in an even worse position because she was trying to save herself, and then they will get her out. John, similarly to Alex, he has lost, well, I mean, he has lost more than any man should. He has lost his family, and he's found himself a new family here, a found family that he truly loves. These are his girls. He is powerless to help Kara. I think he was really funny when he was like, no, Magan, I take your point, but I am being fine. And then he was like, actually, no, Magan is right. It was kind of like, come on, John, listen to her. Because, yeah, I don't think being like, no, we must be really cautious was the right way to do it. But being like, no, we're going right now, let's go, no testing, let's go, was also the wrong way to do it. They needed to find the middle ground, and that's kind of where they've ended up. They're still using their technology, they're still using their little Stargate, they're still going with it, but they're taking a rational approach to it, because you cannot help Kara if you die. Kara will, come back, well, she'll find her own way out of the Phantom Zone to find where you are and kill you if you die trying to save her. So I think, I love whenever they acknowledge his bond with them, that they are his daughters. The moment when he shielded Alex as well. I really do hope we get Kara back before too long so that we can just have some really lovely family time with this group. Before I get to Kara, I want to kind of cover everything else. I'm trying to think if I've missed anyone. I'm really sorry if I have. So Kara in the Phantom Zone. I think it's really interesting that the moment that they were tormenting her with was the cabin with Rain, in which Mon-El died, and various other people died, and you know she referred to it as everyone I loved. Now the way I picture that is that in this vision, because it's playing on her worst fears, they took this moment she truly lived, in which everyone she loved died, and then they made it everyone. People that were not there were there dead. You know, Clark was there dead. Every single person was there dead, and she was powerless. I feel like the way the Phantoms operate, for Kara to say everyone I love was dead when you know it's not everyone, but in that moment, that helplessness she felt, I think she probably did feel a bit like everyone she loved was dead. And I think it was also a case of everyone she loved was going to be dead soon if they weren't already. We've been mentioning the Legion a lot, we've been mentioning what the Legion stands for, and I think it's getting a little bit ridiculous with the don't say the word Mon-El. But Legion, he made that Legion for Kara. Anyway, that's a side point that I just thought of. But I think for Kara that was, yes, another point in her life when she truly thought she had lost everything again, that she was powerless to do anything, and that is the last thing she ever wants to feel, is powerless, because she is Kara bloody Danvers. That's not what she should call herself, she's Kara Danvers. I hate that she is suffering like this, but the fact that she found her father is blowing my mind. I never in a million years saw that coming. Her dad being there. Maybe they announced it and I didn't see it. Oh my goodness. The thought of that she could actually have him again. I'm really scared that it's going to be some kind of long game Phantom thing that like, oh look, you get a member of your family back, lol, he's dead. You know, I'm just scared about that, or that he's going to actually turn out to be insane, or I could see maybe it being a case of he has to sacrifice himself again, which will help Kara escape or something, and then she'll have to live with that. But for Kara, she's managed to get her mum and her dad back. I feel like she did alright out of in the long term out of the death of Krypton. I mean, no, she didn't. Still, the trauma is there. I'm not making light of it. But she got her dad back. She was able to see him again, to tell him she was alive, as he could see, to tell him her mother made it, that his sacrifice for the people of Argo worked, and they're out there and they're happy and they're safe. That was so special, and I really wasn't expecting Kara to get that. I think the most important moment for me though was the end, when, you know, Kara made that speech, which I loved, about one step in front of the other, and if I go out right now and I get one step further, that is good enough, because sometimes things in life seem insurmountable, problems feel like you're never going to get over them, but if you can remind yourself that you just have to make it that one more step, that's all you have to do, and if today you don't make it that step, tomorrow you will. That is what's so important, and that's why Kara is so inspirational. She just speaks to me. But for me, it was the moment when her dad was like, well, I'm not going to let you do that alone, but her dad was still there, because her heart was breaking, knowing what he'd been suffering, knowing that he'd been stuck here at the mercy of the Phantoms, to this point where the man she idolised as a hero, and because she never grew up, kind of never really lost that, never grew up with him, never really lost that view. This man that knew everything and could do everything had just utterly given up and just wanted her to contentedly live in a cabin with him forever. What's the point of that life, really? I mean, okay, it's probably better to do that sane than insane. Maybe it's not, I don't know. The fact that when it came down to it, his response was, well, my daughter's not doing that alone. That shows that that spark is still in there, that her dad is still in there, the man that loves her is still in there, and that was very emotional for me. I'd love it if we're going to get them saving him and he gets to go and be reunited with her mum. That would be everything, if he could actually escape the Phantom Zone. I kind of hope he either escapes and gets to be reunited in Argo City, or dies actually dead and not just doesn't end up just stuck there forever, because I don't think Kara would rest knowing he was there. So I'm hoping he's going to escape, that is what I want, but I think it's that or he has to die, because otherwise it's too brutal in a lot of ways. Just for Kara to get her dad back. And so they've seen that the Phantoms use portals. Now, I don't know whether they were trying to use those to get to the real world or just to travel around. They're getting more and more information. They made it a lot further this time. I feel like maybe they were stealthier. He knows ways of walking around a bit more stealthily than Kara did when she just marched out there. I'm excited for this team up. And I have no knowledge of whether the next episode it's going to end with them all eating Chinese in Kara's home, or if it's going to be the mid-season finale. I don't know how COVID affected timings. I don't know, because obviously they had their original plan with Melissa's maternity leave, but I don't know how COVID has affected all of that, so I don't know how long it's going to take. I love Kara, she's everything to me. I'm sad because she's not in it very much, which makes sense with the circumstances they're dealing with. So this was not my favourite episode by any means, but there were some brilliant Kara speeches, there were some really nice, solid character moments, and I'm looking forward to where the rest of the season goes. Reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon, and thank you so much for watching.